Kale has a reputation for being tough when you eat it raw, but after I show you how to prepare properly, it might just become your favorite salad green. Today, we're preparing my Kale Caesar salad with lemon pepper chicken. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. Let's make kale upscale. Today we're gonna make my Mediterranean-inspired, can't believe it's Kale Caesar salad with lemon pepper grilled chicken. Let's get started. We are gonna start with the chicken because that has to marinate first. I'm gonna show you how I like to cut chicken for this recipe. You can just use whole chicken breasts, that's totally fine. I like to cut them into what I call cutlets, just so that they're a little thinner, they absorb the marinade a little better, and they are a bit smaller and cook a bit more quickly. So when you get a chicken breast, especially when it's a full-size chicken breast like this, it has what's called the chicken tender on it, okay? So we're gonna cut this whole piece off. So that's gonna be one serving like that, and we're gonna cut it off of this one as well. So it's a little thinner, a little smaller, just better for the marinade to penetrate. And then this part you can see is quite a bit thicker. So something you could do is flatten them, but a lot easier is actually just to slice it. So kind of what I call the bagel cut. And then you end up with two cutlets. And it's okay that they're different sizes because different people in your family will want different sizes of food. And the thing that's nice about this too is then everybody can have as much or as little chicken as they want. So we've got these smaller cutlets, and I had already done some before. So I have about 1 kilo of chicken here. This marinade recipe can be good for up to 2 kilos of chicken. I'm just gonna put this in the sink and wash my hands. You always want to be sure to wash your hands when you're dealing with raw chicken, for sure. Okay, now I'm gonna make the marinade. So this is my lemon pepper chicken marinade. So it's gonna start with a fresh lemon. This is one area where you could use store-bought lemon juice, but you still need lemon zest. So we're gonna do the zest of 1 whole lemon. And remember with zest that you just want the colored peel, so none of the white. So you wanna rub it over a rasp or a grater like this and get just the colored peel. All right, so we've got our lemon zest in there, and then we need about 1 lemon juice, which is about 1/4 cup. So if you're using pre-bottled lemon juice, you want to use about 1/4 cup. Let's get my cup measure here. Got one, all right. If it's a little bit shy, if it's just 1 lemon and it's like a little shy, that's okay. There we go. We got pretty much exactly 1/4 cup. Let's put this away. All right, so we've got our 1/4 cup of lemon juice, fresh or bottled, with our zest of a lemon, and then we're gonna get 1 clove of garlic. Now you could skip this part. I do love me some garlic, and I'm just gonna use my rasp here. This is also a great recipe for you to use garlic powder if you want. Let's put that in the sink. Now we need some salt. So marinades almost always have an acid component and a salt component. Oh, I guess I should get salt and not pepper. Okay, so we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, fine sea salt, and then we need 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. I'm just gonna put actually 3/4 teaspoon in there because I just really like it to taste peppery. And now we need to add a little bit of sugar. So we're gonna add about 3/4 teaspoon of sugar as well. So sugar really helps with the caramelization of the chicken when it's cooking, and also it's a really nice part of a brine. So we've got kind of a brine going on here. There's salt and acid and a little sugar, as well as some spices, and the salt and acid will help carry the flavors into the meat. Now I'm also gonna add a little bit of oregano. You can add any type of herb you want, or leave it out. I like oregano, marjoram, or rosemary for this particular recipe. And then finally, we need to add 5 tablespoons of oil. 5 tablespoons, so I'm using avocado oil. I would use some kind of neutral flavored oil. You could use olive oil if you wanted to, but olive oil doesn't have as high of a smoke point as we might need for this particular recipe. Now, even though this looks like a small amount of marinade, it's very powerful and very flavorful, and it will be enough to coat up to 2 kilos or 4 pounds of meat, or chicken, I should say. Right now, I just have 1 kilo right there, so just over 2 pounds. So you just wanna mix this until the sugar and salt are dissolved, and then we're gonna pour it over our chicken, which you remember I cut into the cutlet shapes. And if you wanted to, you could just do it over top of just whole chicken breasts, and you know, you could marinate those a little bit longer. So these ones need to marinate for about an hour. They can marinate longer, you know, up to 4 hours. I'm not really keen on them being marinated overnight. I mean, sometimes you can do that, but because it's pretty high acid content in this recipe, it can make them a little bit mushy. What I like to do when I'm marinating it, you can leave it in the bowl and just cover it and put it in the fridge. I like to just put it in one of these zipper lock bags, and that makes sure that you coat all the chicken quite evenly. And you can keep it in the fridge that way without concern of it dripping everywhere. And you just wanna make sure you get all of the marinade in there. All right, scrape some out. And I'm gonna put that in the fridge and take out the one that I already marinated. All right, the garlic and lemon smell in here is pretty incredible, but it's gonna smell even better when I start cooking it. All right, we sealed that up. So now you've got this nice coated chicken ready to go. You could even freeze that. Okay, and let's get, oh, I almost dropped it. Okay, now you can see I've had this marinating for quite a while, so it's a little longer than I would have liked, but you can even see how the lemon is already tenderizing this chicken really nicely. So this is gonna go, you could grill this. This is probably my go-to way of cooking, would be just throw it on the grill really quickly because these pieces are quite small. Another trick I do sometimes at home when I'm in a hurry is I just spread them all on a pan and then put it right under the broiler and let the high heat of the broiler kind of caramelize them. I'm gonna show you how to do it if you wanna just grill mark them and finish them in the oven. So I'm gonna put a little spray on this hot pan. These type of cooking sprays are great for this particular activity because they have a little bit of lecithin in them, and that really helps it to be like a non-stick surface. The other thing that helps is to make sure this is nice and hot, so I'm just turning this up a little bit, and then we are going to throw it on there. That's the kind of sizzle I like. So you want to try and put them on at an angle if possible, because that's how you get the nice sideways grill marks. This is obviously like smaller than my grill at home. So we're just gonna mark it. So this is another trick from professional kitchens, is when you have a lot to do, you have a big grill, and you don't have time to like cook them all at once, you just mark them on the grill, throw them on a sheet pan, and finish them in the oven. All right, we're gonna flip that over. Look at that. The meal I make the most often for my kids is this one. There we go. We got some nice browning on there. So it's, you could also just cook it the whole way through in the pan, just like if you were grilling it, especially because these are quite small pieces. There we go. Okay, we've got our beautiful little mini chicken cutlets, marinated, grilled, and they are ready to go in the oven. We're gonna cook these. They're probably gonna take less than 5 minutes, honestly. You wanna cook them to an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit so that they're cooked all the way through but still moist. Let me get those in the oven. All right, we're gonna let those bake. We still have to make our Caesar salad and our delicious garlic croutons, so stick around. But first, after the break, we're on the road.
Cooking on the Road is brought to you by Whisk Victoria, the small but mighty kitchen gadget store for every home chef.
We're here in beautiful Coble Hill at Yeshi Foods production facility, which is why I'm wearing the hairnet. And I'm with one of the owners, Paul Kleinschmidt. He's going to show us all around the facility. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
And you want to talk about the dressing, some of the history about this first?
Yeah, so we make nutritionally yeast-based dressing. We started in 2017.
Yeah.
We've grown it now to about 700 stores across Canada.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised. The dressing is amazing.
Oh,
I have a
thank
couple
you.
favorites in that lineup.
Thank you.
So 5 amazing flavors. The ranch is the new one?
Ranch is a brand new one, yeah. And we've decided that we're going to start doing a 4-liter jug for food service.
Okay, so restaurants can order it wholesale.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, can you show me some of the process? I see all these amazing
Sure.
bottles. Yeah.
So what we do is we start in this
Okay.
big production tank here,
Okay.
and we create a slurry, and we blend it and emulsify it in there. From there, it gets pumped into a holding tank, and from the holding tank, it gets pumped into this
Okay.
tank so that we can bottle it, and then it goes through capper and labeler.
So it's just programmed to fill exactly to the fill line.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, she pushes it onto the conveyor belt,
Okay.
and then it goes through a labeler, and then from there, it'll go through the heat tunnel, and they get a safety seal on them.
And then they get shipped out all across Canada.
All across Canada.
Wow, that's impressive, from tiny Coble Hill.
That's right.
All right, now that we finished packing, what's next?
You get to go try it with Barbara and David.
Oh, awesome, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'm here with Barbara, who's the owner and culinary mastermind behind all these dressings at Yeshi Foods, and product manager David, and they're here to talk to me in more detail about these dressings, and I get to try them. I hear you have the main ingredient in all of your salad dressings that's the secret to its amazing flavor.
Right, it's nutritional yeast.
Yes.
It has such a cheesy, nutty flavor. It has so many health benefits,
Yeah.
high in protein, and it's a complete protein, which is fabulous for vegans and vegetarians out there. We started with our original and our smoky chipotle and our ginger sesame and went to market with those 3 first.
And then recently you've got 2 more.
Yeah, a classic sort of Caesar recipe, and we made it vegan, so
that's
all those
awesome.
vegans out there can enjoy a classic tasting Caesar dressing.
Okay, yeah, and then this one is just a new release,
Yeah,
right?
that's our brand new Golden Ranch. It took a lot of months to develop this one,
Yeah.
but I think we finally got it, and should be in stores very soon.
So I also heard that they're low in allergens, is that right, David?
Yeah, they're nut-free, gluten-free, dairy-free,
Okay, that's
egg-free.
awesome.
Why don't you, do you want to have a try?
I would love to try it. And actually, this actually brings me to my next point, because I can see here you have a dip set up.
Yeah.
So it's not just for salad dressings, you can use it for dips, right?
We like to say dip, dip, hooray, eh?
Dip, dip, hooray, I love
Yeah.
it. Oh my God, that is really good. Off the charts, that's so good. All the vegans out there are gonna be really happy.
Meat eaters love it too.
All of these I'll use in different meat recipes and
Right, so it's super versatile. It can be a dressing, marinade, dip. It can be used for vegetarians, vegans, people who have allergies, gluten-free, meat eaters. That's incredible. Yeah, that's just like a perfect all-around, like slightly creamy dressing. You can put it on anything. Well, thank you so much for inviting me into your facility. It's delicious. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your
Thank
time.
you for coming.
Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're making our Kale Caesar salad and lemon pepper chicken. The chicken is done. I just pulled it out of the oven. It looks so delicious. It smells so delicious. I can't wait to dig in. But first we've got to make some croutons, and then we've got to massage our kale. So for the croutons, I am using a focaccia bread. This is usually the standard size that you get, and usually about half of those is good for this many croutons. You want to make sure to cut the focaccia bread in half, like the bagel cut I like to talk about so much, and then into little cubes, because that way it can really absorb the flavor. So I've had a couple of cloves of garlic soaking in about a 1/4 cup of olive oil for about an hour, just to really help the oil absorb all the flavors from the garlic. And now we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to that. So maybe like half a teaspoon of each, or a little shy of half a teaspoon. So we've got some freshly ground pepper and some salt. We're gonna mix that together. Have my oven heated to 375 degrees. Now we're gonna throw our cubed bread in there, and then we're gonna very quickly mix it up. You can use your hands for this as well. Now that we've got this all nicely coated, we're gonna put it on a parchment lined tray like that and spread it out. And then this is gonna go in the oven for between 6 and 8 minutes. So the secret to really good croutons, first of all, I prefer to do them in the oven than on a pan, because then you get much more even heat and you don't get any burnt spots. And the other thing is you want to pull them out of the oven before they're completely hard. They should still be a little bit soft on the inside, because they will get harder as they cool, and that way you're not breaking your teeth on them. All right, let's get these in the oven. Okay, Now we're gonna start on the Kale Caesar. The secret to a really good kale salad is to cut the kale small enough and to massage it. I've got a couple types of kale here. So I have a lacinato kale right here, sometimes known as Tuscan kale, sometimes known as dino kale, and I have the regular green leafy kale. You can use both. What we're gonna do is you're gonna fold it in half and you're gonna pull the leaves off the stems like that so that you don't need to use the stem. It's technically edible, but it's very tough and you really don't want to deal with it in a salad where you're eating the kale raw. Now we're gonna pull those off, and now what you're gonna do, very important, you're gonna cut this very small, okay? You don't want to be eating or trying to chew through a really big piece of kale. Now I have some done already. So this recipe, you want to use 2 large bunches or 3 small bunches of kale. So I have some already prepped. This may be too small of a bowl for this. Okay, so we're gonna start with half a teaspoon of salt in there. So we are not gonna mix the entire Caesar dressing and then massage it. We're just gonna massage the kale with the salt and the vinegar from the recipe. So we're gonna start with half a teaspoon, actually I'm gonna do 3/4. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And then we're gonna put the acid components, so vinegar and lemon. So for this recipe, we need 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar and 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Let's see, so 2 tablespoons of fresh, whoop. There we go. And then 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna get, this part's important. You wanna get your gloves on for this part of the recipe. Okay, so this part takes a few minutes. So at first it's gonna seem like nothing's happening, but as you massage the kale and work in the acid and the salt, the fibers in the kale will soften up and release some juices and kind of collapse in on themselves. So you wanna just crush it in your hand, rub it. So don't be timid. You really wanna show this kale who's boss, you know? All right, so look at that. As I've been massaging it just for a couple of minutes, you can see it's how much softer it is, and you know, it's darker green because we've been like releasing some of the cells. So this is a kale that's pleasant to eat raw. It's not tough, it's more tender. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the rest of our dressing. So we don't need to add the acid to this. In here I have 3 cloves of garlic and some black pepper, some sugar, maybe a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and then 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Using mayonnaise is my cheater way of replacing the raw egg. Instead of the raw egg, I just add mayonnaise, and that helps emulsify this dressing. So we're gonna add our olive oil to that. And then, okay, let us put this in here. So we're pouring all of that lovely Caesar dressing in there. Okay. Then we're gonna get some tongs and mix that. So you wanna really mix this up until this kale is all coated with this delicious Caesar dressing, and that way the dressing can mix with all the acid that's in here. All right, so throw that in. And we're also gonna put some more on as garnish at the end, because you cannot have a delicious Caesar without Parmesan. All right, so this is all super well mixed now, and all we need is our croutons. So I'm gonna get the batch that I already made, which is perfect because we need them to be cool before we put them in this recipe. Those are perfect. You can mix some croutons right into the salad. I also like to save some to sprinkle on top as well so that they keep their crunch. We're gonna get some bowls and plate this salad. So we're gonna start, and you can use whatever protein you like. I've done this with steak as well, but the lemon pepper chicken just pairs so well with this delicious Caesar. Like the flavors are very complementary. So look at how fluffy and tender. All right, we've got extra here. So let's just say everybody wants 2 pieces of our lovely chicken. There we go. Oh man, this is so good. All right, let's grate some Parmesan over that. And maybe I'll cut a lemon wedge or 2 if people want more. I'm gonna put some over the chicken too. Ooh, yeah. There we go. All right, let's cut a couple little pieces of lemon just to make it look a little prettier. Okay, okay. There we have it. Our I can't believe it's kale Caesar with garlic croutons and lemon pepper grilled chicken. So delicious.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
This Kale Caesar has a lot of strong flavors, garlic, the pepper, the brassica vegetables. So I'm very interested to know what would pair with this meal. With us to help us is George Anderson from Friend Estate Winery to help us out. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
And what have you got? You got a wine ready for us?
I do. I brought today our big white blend. It's perfect for this salad. It's got a really nice balance between residual sugar and nice, clean, crisp acidity, so it's going to go perfect with the salad.
Okay. Well, let's try it out. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Oh, it looks beautiful. All right, let's try this out. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm gonna try it first. Ooh, that is very nice. Yeah, I can
Perfect.
taste that like citrusy note. Okay, let's try this with the Caesar.
Nice, clean finish.
There's a fork for you. I encourage you to try a crouton if you so choose. I'm gonna have just some kale. Oh, I love that salad. All right, let's try it out. Oh yeah. Yeah, that holds
Nice.
up very well.
Really good.
Yes, thank you. All right, I'm gonna try this with the crouton. Do you want to tell us a bit about the winery? I hear it's a fairly new winery.
Yep, fairly new winery, family-owned estate winery, right in West Kelowna. The only winery right on the lake, right on Lake Okanagan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it goes well with the croutons, it goes well with the kale. It's very good. We'll have to try it with the chicken in a minute. Oh yeah, it goes so well with that too. It's amazing to me. Every bite of food brings out a different character of this wine. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a great pairing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your vineyard with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Wonderful, thank you.
Show us your take on this meal. The recipes will be on the website. Take a photo and tag us at Chef Heidi Fink and at CHEK Media. I'm Chef Heidi Fink. The more you learn, the better it tastes. I think I need to eat a crouton. That is
So good.
I know.
I'm gonna finish off this whole salad.
Oh yeah, well
before I-
please do.
And the kale's perfect.
Thank you. I massaged it for 5 minutes.
Just the right amount.
Thank you. Some chicken. Maybe I'll squeeze some lemon over this chicken.
It's just the right balance.
Delish.